Hello, everybody, and welcome to Outside the Box, the podcast devoted to supporting Central PA small business. And today we're going to be talking about creating your first Facebook ad. So if you're a solopreneur or a small business or even a bigger business and you think you're going to be doing your Facebook ads yourself rather than hiring out, or you just want to test the waters, or you're just curious or whatever, this is going to be the episode for you. I'm going to show you the 3 easy steps to creating your first Facebook ad, and there are the basic 3 steps of creating any Facebook ad. I am your host, DerekBicksler, Realtor and digital marketing geek right here in Central PA. I grew up on the Hill in Harrisburg, went to Mechanicsburg High School, go Wildcats, and went up to Penn College of Technology in Williamsport. Recently, the home of the Little League World, well, always the home of the Little League World Series. If you need to buy or sell a home, please contact me. You can call me, text me, email me, throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. We need inventory right now. If you would like to subscribe to our weekly email, go to supportcentralpa.com to get networking, mixer updates and invites, episode announcements, and exclusive special offers, of which you will have one from me at the end, kind of free discovery call, whatever you want to call it. Ask a question in the comments. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. And if I don't see them, I'll come back later and address it. Or since this is kind of like a tutorial thing, feel free to save it and then watch it again while you're actually creating your ad, or watch it a couple times so you can take it in, or just reach out to me. Feel free to message me or whatever. I'm happy to help you get through your first ad. A reminder that all the replays are on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and soon on iTunes and all the audio platforms once I get to uploading them there. So now we will get into it, how to create your first Facebook ad. And I'm going to take that down since it's already at the top. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And I'm literally, this will not take very long, guys. So first, number 1, and maybe I should put a little banner up for these. Yes, I will do that. So number 1 is define your goal. Define your goal. So step 1, define your goal. And if I can get over to my ads manager. So I have a dummy ads manager account open. It's in Facebook. So step 1 is create your Facebook ads account, and you got to do that. So once you're in here, this is how you're going to create that first ad. And if you need help with that, again, feel free to message me or whatever. So once you're in here, we're going to go to, and this is, I have a Shopify Trailblaze Tees t-shirt store. I don't make any money on it or advertise it or do anything really. It's just for me. But I use the ad account in there, which I don't really run ads for, but I create kind of dummy ads for purposes like this for explanation. So we are in that ad account. And the first thing you're going to do is, before we even get to those 3 things, the main things is click create. So it's that big green button right there that says create. Pretty straightforward. So this takes you right away into step 1, which is defining your goal. So what's your goal? Do you want to get people to click to a website? Are you trying to get people to call you? Are you trying to get people to get directions to your store? Are you just trying to show your brand to them like a billboard as much as possible? You don't necessarily need them to click. You just want to be in front of them a lot. Are you trying to get them to watch a video? That's a big one. I love videos. You can retarget that a lot later. And this is getting deeper, and this doesn't have to do with the first one. But later you can, if you run a video or something, you can then run another ad that says anybody that watched that video, 15 seconds of it or 2 minutes of it or 95% of it or 50% of it or whatever you want to do, you can show a video to all those people that watched that. So if they watched a video that's a minute long about a certain subject or a product or service or whatever, they're probably somewhat interested. So you could then serve them up a special offer. That's getting a little bit too deep, but so that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're going to be doing here as far as your goal. What are you trying to accomplish with this ad? So let's say traffic. Typically, that's what people are thinking. I'm trying to get pay-per-click. I'm trying to get clicks to my website. Like I said, there are a lot of other things you can do within here, but let's keep it simple. And let's say for this one, we just want to get clicks. We're trying to get clicks to that t-shirt page so we can sell some t-shirts. I love that's why I created the stores, because it's a very simple to understand business, selling t-shirts here. So I'm picking traffic. Traffic is the one if you're trying to do clicks. So step 1, pretty much accomplished. So once you click that, it's going to take you into into the actual place where you're going to create the ad here. And the first thing you want to do is make a title for your ad. So you can see here the 3 steps. It says new traffic campaign, under that new traffic ad set, and new traffic ad. So that top level is your campaign, and on the campaign level it houses everything else. You can see it kind of everything funnels down from there, and the campaign level is that goal level when we're picking what we're trying to do. So that's why they all say traffic. But now we want to change these names to something we're going to be able to identify later when we're looking at our ads account with 50 ads or however many ads. After a while, they'll stack up, and you need to be able to keep them straight in your ads account, especially if you're turning them on and off at different times. You'll want to be able to keep them straight. So you want to name it something that you're going to know. And we're going to run an ad for the, I have a t-shirt that has the first blaze of the Appalachian Trail on it. It's a picture, and actually the actual blaze, I'm not trying to sell it. So it's the first blaze of the Appalachian Trail. So I'm going to call this First Blaze Traffic. And then... And even though when in the ads manager, when you're looking at your ads, there are other ways to tell what type. Was it an ad that for video views? Was it an ad for trying to get clicks? Was it an ad for whatever? You can see it otherwise, but I like to just put it in the name, because the name, I have my own code, and you'll come up with your own code for your ad campaign names and all the ad sets and everything that I'm going to show you. But for me, I like to do, so I'm going to do call it something, first blaze, so I know what it is. Traffic, I know what the goal is of that campaign to get clicks. And then I might even put a date there or something so I could keep track of when I created it, because I might want to create a new one of that same thing, but just an updated version of it rather than updating this ad, which you can do, but whatever, you get it. You want to be able to keep track. So come up with some kind of code. Keep it simple. I'm going to say first blaze and traffic for this one. And then I'm going to scroll down. If you're in a special category, we are not for purposes of this one for in real estate. That's why I don't use my real estate one. Well, first, I don't want you to see my ads account for real estate, but also as soon as I click, I'm doing a housing ad, it takes away pretty much all the targeting, or a lot of the targeting for the most part. So for purposes of this, and for most of you out there, you are not one of these things here: credit, employment, housing, and social issues, elections, or politics. So if any of those, if you click any of those, and you have to, they will shut you down if you are one of those and try to run ads without it. It might work a little bit for a while, but eventually you'll get shut down and it will not work. So I do not recommend doing that. So if you are one of those, click that. And most of your targeting will go away, unfortunately. But assuming you're not, like this t-shirt company, Trailblaze Tees, we're going to leave that blank. Campaign details, bidding, you want to leave that at auction. A lot of these things, I'm just going to tell you to leave it the way it is, because this is your first ad and we don't need to get deep into each one of these things, but we will go past them real quick. So bidding type, auction, you want to leave it that way. Again, I won't get into that one. The campaign objective, if you messed up, you could go in here and change it. Oh, I wanted something different, but we're going to leave it. Leave it at traffic as the campaign objective. A/B testing, that's where if you wanted to compare 2 different ads, you want to run 2 different ads and see which one performs better. They can kind of do it for you. I like to do it myself in a different way, just by running different ads. But different people have different schools of thought. Different people like different things. But anyway, so we're going to skip that. We don't need, again, your first ad, you don't need to be messing with that right now. And then you're going to see campaign budget optimization, which if you had a whole bunch of ads, so under the campaign, you can have multiple ad sets and audiences and ads, and it could be a whole big thing, which we're not going to do right now. We're just going to create one under each thing. But so campaign budget optimization would mean if you had a whole bunch of ads running under one campaign, it's going to spread out your $5 a day, $10 a day, $1 million a day amongst all those ads evenly for the most part. But we're going to leave that off. Again, we're not getting... Yeah, we'll leave that off and we don't need to talk about that anymore. Just leave it off for your first ad here. And then you're going to click next, which is going to take you to the next part. Or you could just go up here and click on this part of it. Now you want to rename your ad set name. So it was still on the default new traffic ad set. I want to rename it. So remember, the first part was what we're trying to do. First place traffic. And then the second part, the ad set part, is we're defining our audience. And let me change my tab here. Define audience. It's coming. Hold on. There you go. Define your audience. So first thing, we define what do we want to do. We're trying to get clicks to the landing page to sell some t-shirts. Then we are going to define our audience. So who are we going to show this ad to? So first, and I'm not going to go into all this, and I think I have an episode on it. Maybe I'll do another episode, a refresher again, because it was a while ago. But first, you need to come up with who's your client avatar, who's your ideal customer, who are you trying to sell it to. So with hiking t-shirts like this, obviously anybody that likes hiking or rock climbing or backpacking or camping or hunting or fishing or anything you can think of, or hunting magazines or any of that stuff you can think of is going to be my audience. Along with geographic location also. So for real estate, geographic comes in pretty tight, as low as they'll allow me to do. But for something like a t-shirt company, I'm going to sell it everywhere except for California, because they have weird tracking, website tracking stuff, regulations or whatever. So I think California, but don't quote me on that, whatever. You can research that stuff yourself. But typically I would run an ad myself for something like that. Not in California. Not that I run a ton of e-commerce ads. So anyway, not in California. What was I saying? Oh, audience. So I'm just going to call this US, because I'm going to run it to everybody in the US. And I'm going to say except Cali. And myself, I would just know. I wouldn't typically have to write that, because I just know I wouldn't put it there. And any other states that institute the same stuff that they have going. US except Cali. So that notes to me later when I'm looking at this stuff, if you had multiple audiences, which you can have, and I'll show you, you could be running different ads to different audiences. This will help you keep them all straight when you're looking at your ads. So I want to say the geographic location, US except Cali, and then with interests. No, well, here. Yeah, we're going to do with interests. So I'm sending it to people in the US except for California. And down here, I'm going to show you how to pick those interests. The people that like the hiking and the mountain biking and the rock climbing and the outdoors and all that stuff. So that's my audience. Like I said, define your audience. Choose where you want to send your traffic. A website, we're just going to leave it on that. That's typically where you're going to be. Most people are going to be sending them, but you could send them to an app if you were trying to get them to download an app or use the app. Into Messenger, you could try to get Messenger, and there's a whole automation behind that you can do, or it can just open to Messenger and say, hey, do you want to send a message to this person or to this business? So, and then and that could be, all these could be a whole different episode. The Messenger one especially is a good one and could warrant a good episode. But for now, we're going to leave it on. And WhatsApp, you could send them to WhatsApp, which is pretty much like a messenger thing, or they could call you there as well. But for sake of this, and most businesses out there, probably you included, we're going to leave it on website. Dynamic creative, we won't get into that too deep. That's going to, if you had a bunch of different pictures you're testing, and you should do that, and that's getting a little bit deeper. But if you had a bunch of different creatives, which are your videos and your photos and all the creative design elements of the visual part of it, it will change that for you however Facebook's algorithm deems the way they should do it. We won't get into that. This is your first ad, and even doing more complicated ads, and I do a million ads. A lot of times I don't use that. I prefer manually doing things, although the algorithm is getting really, really good, and a lot of things you can let it do, but I still like a little bit of a manual control or testing myself in a different way. So anyway, leave that alone. Offer, you could we're going to leave that alone as well. Let's see if it shows you anything. So if you had an offer, you pick your page. Yeah, I don't want to get into that right now. But if you had a special offer, you could kind of add an offer and it's going to show that to people. We're not going to do that. First ad, keep it simple. Your budget. You're also going to be under your audience. You're going to be picking your budget here. I should add that to the slide, but it's important, but it's not really part of the building of it. But anyway, you can go as low as $1 a day. So anybody that's watching it and you're scared to go click that button and say add go, first of all, it's going to go into review and you can turn it off at any time and the world's not going to explode if you mess something up. But also you can put something at $1 a day and run it for a whole month and it's $30. And if it's a good ad, that could actually show to people and get you some results. I recommend higher for sure, but just to get started, you don't need to spend a bunch of money. And still, I'm kind of great with micro budgets as a real estate agent, a solopreneur, whatever you want to call me. I've gotten really good at low budget Facebook ads and getting something out of it. So anyway, the point here is you can go as low as $1. You probably need to go a little bit higher until you're a ninja like me to get any results. But $1 a day and you can test stuff. It's a good way to test stuff. If you're posting every day, you could throw $1 a day at that. And then any post, anyone that you boosted or whatever, and the boosting is a different thing out of here. We're doing higher level than boosting right now. Boosting is lower level. We're now actually creating ads like the professionals. But if you create an ad out of a post, so if you're creating a post every day already, and then you boost that post, so to speak, for $1 a day, I call it the $1 a day strategy. Again, that's a whole different episode. But the $1 a day strategy, if you're posting already and you're making all your content and you're taking that time to post every day, throw a little bit of money behind it because Facebook doesn't show your Facebook page to all those thousands of people that like your page. They show it to 3 people, your mom that likes every single post, the other couple people that show a lot of interest in it, and then everybody else doesn't see it. Just because the algorithm doesn't show it to them anymore organically. So you have to pay to play. So if you're posting every day, spending all that energy, throw $1 behind it, and then if nothing else, it forces some people to see that post and somebody gets something and you get some brand recognition, maybe some clicks, yada, yada. But also it helps you test which content works. So if nobody's seeing it, you can't tell what people like or don't like. But if you force some people to see it, then you can see which ones get the better response. And then the better response ones, you can do more of what works, like we all should be doing. And you can also, so you threw $1 at it to see if it worked, and you're like, whoa, this is way below average cost per click compared to my other ones, or average cost per video view compared to my other ones. Then you can say, oh, instead of $1, I think I'm going to throw $100 at this and add a click here, learn more, and I'm going to make my landing page a little bit better so maybe I can convert some buyers or something out of this. So there's a lot of reasons that the budget conversation could be had, but the gist of it is under the audience section is where your budget selection is going to be, and you can go as low as $1 a day. And I don't think there's a max. If you put $2 billion in there, I don't know what it would say. I've never tried and I'm not going to try, but that's a good question. I'm going to ask Google what the max budget is on a Facebook ad. So anyway, $1, we're going to leave it at $1. You can do whatever you want. Then you can also schedule it. You can schedule it to start and stop on certain dates and times. And you can even schedule it. If you schedule, you can even go in and say, I only want it to run from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you can get into that time because some people don't want to get clicks at 2 a.m. when people are wasted on Saturday and Friday night or something and just clicks. And now I'm paying for clicks when when they're not really buyers, or that's just one example. But so you can pick all kinds of times when your ad is going to start and stop, when it actually shows and everything. But again, for this first ad and for most ads, I just like to leave it. It's an amount per day. And you could just have a max budget too. You could say, I want it to run for 20 days, max budget of X, not an amount per day. But typically I'm just doing a daily budget. And actually you can see here lifetime budget or daily budget. So most times, and the default is daily budget. So 90% of the time, like I said, $1, whatever a day, daily budget. and I'm just letting it, the default time and day will be right now. Like as soon as it gets approved, it's going to start. And then send an end date. You can put an end date in there if you think you're going to forget. If it's a big budget and you want to make sure you're not spending $100 a day and you forget about it, I doubt that's going to happen, especially if it's your first ad. But if you're worried about that, you could set an end date so that it would end and you wouldn't have to worry about that. But again, 90% of the time, it's going to start when I start it because I'm keeping tabs on the ads, and I'm going to stop it when I want to stop it because it's a little switch like you see up there. It's just one of those little switches. You can turn these ads on and off whenever you want to once it's approved. So you're going to leave that at $1 a day. And now here's the actual audience finally after that big old budget conversation. So audience, pretty important. You need to show it to the right people. You don't just want to put it out to everybody. With the caveat of Facebook, this is one of the things Facebook is really, 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 really smart at now these days. It knows who likes hiking. So it already knows that Facebook page for Trailblaze Tees is all about hiking and hiking apparel and whatever. And it already knows everybody on Facebook that likes that kind of thing. So you could, and I would, run two different ads, at least two, more than that, but I would run at minimum probably, and I'll show you how to do it. I would run, you see, we call this one US Accept Cali with interests. I would also run US Accept Cali no interests. And I'm going to leave this one as with interests, but with no interests. So I would also run one, all that geographic area, but no interest targeting. Like I'm not clicking and saying people that like hiking or people that like outdoors or people that like this or that. I'm just saying I want people in that geographic area, and Facebook, you figure out who likes that stuff and show it to them. And I bet that one actually performs better. A lot of times when I had the climbing gym, those almost always performed better. It just knew. I would go in and spend an hour picking all these interests, like hundreds of interests that people that would be interested in climbing would be interested in, and then spend all this time creating this awesome audience, I thought. And then after a while, Facebook's algorithm got so good that it's good. So I typically am going to have at least 2 ad sets under my campaign, one with interests and one basically your farm area with interests, and then your farm area without interests. So this one we're doing interests, and here we're creating the audience. So we're not going to get into custom audiences. Custom audiences, I'll open it up really quick just so you know where it is here. This means this is where you go to create an audience of people that have been to your website. So you would click people that have been to your website or been to a specific page on your website or something. People, your customer list, people that have done activity on an app offline of Facebook, an Instagram account, people that have gone to events or clicked interested in events or going to events or whatever. People have taken actions on your Facebook page. That's one of my favorites. Anybody that's liked or engaged with your page at any time or within the last 30 days. You can go up to within 365 days right now as far as people that have engaged with your page, people that have watched a video I mentioned before, people that if you run an ad with a lead form, which is kind of like a landing page within Facebook, takes extra time to create, but it's really, really fast. If somebody clicks on your ad, it just opens up right in Facebook with basically a landing page right there that you can capture their information or sell them something or whatever. So say you could run an ad to anybody that saw that first ad, anybody that clicked on it and opened that lead form but didn't buy, you could show an ad to those people and all kinds of other stuff. Instant experience, that's kind of, well, the lead form is getting the lead form. The instant experience is more the landing page thing. The lead form is where it captures the information and actually takes the email address and the phone number that they have on file with Facebook. So those are the different custom audiences. Again, this is your first ad, so we're not going to do that right now, but you know where to find it and you know a little bit about what you can do. Again, my favorite ones are you would retarget website visitors, except the new Apple iPhone, iOS update messes that all up, but you could do website, people that have visited certain pages, and then video views. and your Facebook page and Instagram account stuff. Those are probably my 3 favorites. Website's okay, but I love targeting people that have watched my videos. You can kind of have a never-ending cycle of videos going. You play one, you target everybody that's watched that one with the next one, and then you target everybody that's watched that one with the next one, and then people, you just never disappear from them, and you're in front of them forever in perpetuity with your content. The never-ending video strategy, that's another thing I do. There's a $1 a day strategy, there's the never-ending video strategy, and all kinds of other strategies. But so video is my favorite retargeting, as well as Facebook page. Anybody that's liked a comment, I just pick all of them. It's basically anyone that's done anything regarding your Facebook page will then see this ad and be retargeted. So those are custom audiences. We are not getting those. And finally, to the actual audience we're gonna create this time. So we're not doing the custom. Location is the first thing. You click edit. It says United States, and I'm going to type in California. There we go, California. But then up here, we're in California. I'm going to hit this little arrow and say exclude it. So you can have included ones or excluded ones. Not sure why it didn't change to excluded just now, because I need to include something first. Because I guess I deleted all of. So we're going to go United States, country, region, yes. I don't know why it's not taking it. Exclude California. Exclude California, United States. There we go. All right, it took it. So now we're including all of the United States except for California. And you could do this by zip code, by towns. You know, if like for real estate, for local business, if you're just trying to get local business, anything, plumber or whatever, you could go Harrisburg. And there's other Harrisburgs, so you got to make sure you get Pennsylvania. And we want to include it. There we go. And then you can pick your miles, because if it's a state, it typically just does the whole state. But if you do a town, it's going to put a pin and then say how many miles. So if you're local here, like a lot of you are, you can go down to 10 miles. If you are one of those protected things like real estate, like I said, the 15 miles is as low as they will let you go. You used to be able to do like, show this ad to that house and that's it. The people living there or in that restaurant, it used to be really, really tight, which you can still do other ways, not on Facebook, but you can still kind of do that. But anyway, so you can set your radius or whatever, but for purposes here, like I said, we're going to leave it now it's all messed up. Include United States. And then please exclude California, United States. There we go. So included, excluded. Age, you could change this up. I probably would change this up for the t-shirt for hiking type of people. Not to be ageist, but I think it's going to be a younger crowd that's going to like it. Let's cut it off at 40. Sorry, and I'm 43 in a few days, so I'm being ageist against myself, but let's cut it off. Let's say the younger people are going to like this product, 18 to 40. Gender, we're going to leave it open to all genders. That's another thing. You could have an audience, and up here where you name it, you could say US except Cali with interests men, or one with women. And that is a good test. When you're creating any ad, when you start creating more, and I'll show you how to duplicate and make it easy, you will want to test all these things. But, or just, again, the algorithm's getting really good and you almost don't even need to do all this testing and trying of different audiences and everything. But anyway, gender, or if it was lipstick or something that definitely was for women or for men, I guess lipstick could be for either. But if it's something that, I guess, let's think of something, birth control, that would have to be women, right? I don't know if you can run ads for that, but that would be women. You could switch that to women. Detail targeting. This is where we're gonna really, and this is where you're gonna spend time too. So detailed targeting, like I said, I want people that are hiking. So this is where I'm gonna go and I'm gonna type in hiking. Or not. Hike. There we go, hike. And sometimes you might type something in and nothing will come up. So let's try hiking again though. Yeah, there we go. Because I knew that one was in there. So hiking. And then you're going to see what it's related to. So I don't want people, well, people that are employed in hiking. That would work. And something that I will tell you kind of sucks. You have to type it in every time. So whatever that keyword is, you're going to want all the terms related to that. So I'm going to copy that, writing hiking again. Now I'm going to, yeah, anybody that goes to hiking schools, yeah, they'd like a t-shirt. The first blaze on it. Hiking trails. So now you see all the rest of these hiking related ones are interests. So it's people interested that have clicked on stuff or watched videos about or whatever Facebook uses to know that they're interested in it. So hiking trails. And then obviously it's the first blaze of the Appalachian Trail. So I want people included in this that like the Appalachian Trail interests. Yep. And then I should have... They still don't let you just check mark all the ones that apply, which is the most annoying thing ever because this really could be an hour-long process, couple hour-long process, just picking all these interests here. Appalachian, I don't know why it's not coming up. Trail. Here, let's try again. Appalachian Trail. The Appalachian gave me more. So you see, you kind of do things like that. Appalachian Mountains interest. Yep, that's what I want. Magazines, stuff like that. So you could have interests, actual things. And then also, what's a good outdoor magazine? Is outdoor magazine. Yeah, there you go. So things like that. Outdoor Photographer magazine, Outdoor Life magazine, people that like those magazines, or Sports Illustrated. So if you're running something, if people that you were trying to target like Sports Illustrated magazine or that kind of person would like your product, then you would want to put that in there. And I don't know any hiking or any, climbing magazine. Pick that. So there's all kinds of stuff and people. So if you're doing a skateboard product, Tony Hawk, people that like Tony Hawk, people that like whatever other famous skateboarders there are right now. For climbing, you could put people that follow that dude that was in that, climb that big wall on Hulu or whatever that was. Still haven't watched that. Everybody asked me. That's why I know nothing about it. So here you're going to, and like I said, these are, what do I got? 1, 2, 3, like 5 things in here. You could leave it at that, but I would probably have a lot more. And then as you're creating your audience, you also want to look over here where it says audience definition, and it's going to tell you how good your audience is. And obviously you want to be in that green zone, so you can make it too broad or too specific. And in general, Facebook likes a bigger audience because it's going to throw it in front of right at the beginning a whole bunch of people, and the more people the better to get data from. And then it's going to figure out, it needs as much data as possible to then figure out who it should show it to. And a lot of times you'll even see it say in your ad account in testing mode when the ad first starts, because it's still learning, or learning mode, or whatever they call it. So you want to make sure you're within that green. 1 million plus is good. However, for real estate and local businesses, if I'm doing within 15 miles of Harrisburg or something, there may only be 40,000. If I expand Cumberland County, Dauphin County, Perry, York, Lancaster, Levy, kind of go out like that, I might be getting into the hundreds of thousands in the audience. But locally, a lot of times you will see it maybe will be in the red, even if you're not doing any interest. You're just saying everybody within so many miles. It might be in the red, but that's just the way it is, and they can still work. It doesn't mean they're not going to work, but yeah. So you just got to do it if you're local and have to do that. So here you can see I'm in the green. If I kept adding them, I might get up into that too broad because I have too many interests, but we'll just leave it at that right there. We won't spend too much time on it, but you know where to go. So at least you can pick who's going to like your things, the gender, maybe if that matters, the age, that certainly matters. If it's a retirement home, you're not going to show that to this crowd here that I picked. You're going to show it to that 65 plus crowd. And then languages, if you're targeting Spanish speakers or anybody else, then you could change the language of the ad, who it's targeting. And then you can also use targeting expansion, which again, we won't go into, but it's basically going to guess at other people that are similar to the people that you targeted that it thinks it should show it to. Not a bad idea. I mean, once you click that, you're kind of now just doing the with no interests option, like I was saying. So we made our options. I cut it short. There are a lot more interests that I could add in here for my interest targeting one, but we'll leave it at those few and move on. I am not going to do the detailed targeting expansion because I would do a separate one with no interest, which I'm going to show you quick at the end. And then at the end here, you can save this audience. So like I said, it could be hours of work doing all these interests. Someday that's going to go away because like I said, Facebook can figure it out pretty well now. But as of right now, a lot of people are still doing this. And it might be painstaking and you want to save it because you don't want to have to do it every time. So once you create these awesome audiences that hopefully work for you, you click Save Audience and Trailblaze. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Example, exclamation point, example. So now it's saved. And next time you came in here, under audiences, use saved audiences. All your saved audiences are right here. And you can see that example is one of the ones that I can pick. And you can see in here, app trail states, no interest. You can see some that I've saved before. So example is the one, and I'm going to leave it on that one, but there you go. And then you could still, if you picked a saved one and you wanted to change it a little bit, you can pick one of your saved ones and then you can edit it and then you could save it as different things. So that's a shortcut too. You just click edit there, change it up, and then save as new. So we're going to leave it as the example one there that we did. Placements. This is where, now for your first ad, you're just going to leave it automatic. And for, in general, let Facebook do it. It knows where to put certain things. It knows where the square videos are allowed and where the portrait videos are allowed or not allowed, where a video can play depending on the length, whether it can show on apps like Words with Friends or the Wall Street Journal or other games and apps, or on websites, or in the Facebook feed, or in stories, or on the Instagram feed, or on WhatsApp, or in Messenger, all these different places, which I'm going to show you here. Just let Facebook do it and figure it out itself. So first ad, you're definitely going to leave this on automatic placements, but real quick here, I'm going to run and show you. So if you clicked manual placements, you could then go in here and say, I don't want to show that on apps. That's what the audience network and websites and things. I don't want to show that on Messenger. I don't want to show that on Instagram. And you can even pick which ones. Oh, I want it on Facebook, but I just don't want it in the regular news feed. I only want it in stories. And you can see it's separated by feeds and stories. And that's because the creative is different, the pictures and videos. In stories, it needs to be vertical. In the feeds, square or wide angle is the best. Square being my favorite because it works the most places. So if you're creating a creative and you can't create one for each one of these placements, then make a square one and let Facebook do all automatically. So here we're going to do automatic placements for now. Again, we're doing link clicks. You can pick here what you want Facebook to do. So you can pick landing page views, link clicks, daily unique reach, in impressions. So if I leave it on link clicks, which you should 90% of the time probably, it's going to show it to people within that audience, but also people that tend to click on stuff. Also, at the beginning when we picked traffic as an objective, that right there is telling Facebook to show it to people that click stuff more. So people like me who never click on any ads like ever, they're not going to show a traffic ad to me for the most part. I do watch videos, so they're going to show me a video ad that's a video view ad, but probably not a traffic ad. I mean, it doesn't mean I will never get them, but they will tend to not show it to me. They're going to show it to people that tend to click on links. If you pick landing page views, that's almost a level further. So that's people that click, but not just click, they actually look at the landing page, and with the tracking and everything, it knows that the person scrolled, maybe clicked through or did something, or even purchased. It can track everything that happens for the most part. So if you pick landing page views, it's going kind of like a level deeper. It's taking all the interests and things that you dictated, but also showing it to people that tend to look at landing pages, click, and then also look. And then daily unique reach, that's just optimizing not for people that click or look at landing pages, but just put it in front of as many people. I don't care if they click or not, show as many people, and let's try to get clicks, which is how I, as a non-clicker, would end up seeing a traffic or click ad for this. And then impressions, again, that's kind of just show it to as many people as possible. For this, and 90% of the time, when you're doing a traffic ad, link clicks, or at least link clicks or landing page views. Landing pages is good. First ad, let's just do link clicks, get people to click. Cost control. Now, if you wanted to keep it, if you knew I should be getting $1 a click and above that is crazy, it should be less than that, whatever your cost per click should be, maybe it's 2 cents, maybe it's sub cents. But for purposes here, let's say $1. If you can get clicks for $1, that's not too bad. Bid strategy, we're not going to get into that. That's fairly new, even being in here, and I don't really even want to speak on it, especially for purposes here. It's just going to confuse, and I can't even get rid of it. But you get to pick there, and again, I'm not going to talk about that. So cost cap, I would just leave it there on the default option. When you get charged, you can pick when you get charged. So you can get charged per impressions or per link clicks. You can see here, it's not letting us do the per link click. So we're going to leave it on impressions. That just means it's going to charge you every time it shows it to somebody, not every time somebody clicks on it. Doesn't mean you can't then figure out how much cost per click, and also doesn't mean you can't dictate your highest cost per click, but it does mean that it's going to charge you as it shows it to people, and if nobody clicks on it, it's still going to spend your budget showing it to people, if that makes sense. Which is why they don't let you do just cost per click here. I won't get into when you could do that or why you could do it. And then standard delivery type. Standard is the only way you can do it. They don't let you edit it here. And if anything is like that within any of your creation of the ad, then just leave it the way it is. That doesn't apply to you or the ad for some reason. It might be your ad account or you or your page, or it could be just the type of ad you're making. That thing doesn't apply to your ad. So now we've made it through the audience. And I should probably see where I'm at time-wise. 42. All right, we're on step 3. Not too bad. Keep them at an hour. All right, so now we're at step 3. So we had the first step you see up there, which was the campaign level. Level 1, define your goal. Level 2, you have define your audience, which we did. And then level 3, create your ad. Got to do the banner. How quick can I do it? Create ad. Oh, number 3. It's coming. It's coming. There we go. Create ad. Back over here. All right. Create ad. So now we want to change that title again. Remember, and this is for your own tracking purposes, so you can keep them straight. So I'm going to say this is a photo ad. So this is a typical variation that I would do, or at the beginning, it's an easy variation to test and try without getting too deep. So you could have one ad that is just photos, or a slideshow of photos or whatever. Not a slideshow because that's a video, but just photos, or you could have a video. So if I was going to have 2 different versions, and I like to keep them in separate ads so that when I'm reading down, I can clearly see which is which, how much each costs and all that. It's easier. When you get deeper, there are better ways to do it. But anyway, so I would name this one photo. So I know it's my traffic ad. I know it's this audience with interests. And I know this ad is the photo one, the one that I'm just going to use still photos for. Then it's going to ask me which Facebook page. So I have a whole bunch of Facebook pages that I'm the manager of. And I should probably not show that. That's all right, though. All those people know. So I'm going to leave it on Trailblaze Tees. Hopefully your Instagram is attached also. If it's not, you need to attach your Instagram to your Facebook page and then make sure it comes up in here. And then you want to make sure it's also, unless you don't want to show it on Instagram, I don't know why you wouldn't, but because every age is, if you think your audience is not on Instagram, they are on Instagram, probably. So anyway, Trailblaze, all the right entities are selected there. Ad setup, create ad, use existing post, or use Creative Hub Mockup. So the three choices here you have are create an ad, which we're going to do, use existing post. If you wanted to use an existing post, which would be that $1 a day strategy that I was saying before. Actually, I would do it a different way, but if you wanted to create an ad in Ads Manager, not boosting a post, but create a real ad, but still use a post, maybe that post went like gangbusters and it's got tons of social currency behind it, comments and likes and shares, and Facebook already loves it. Let's throw a bunch of money behind it. Come in here, create a nice real ad for it, click existing post, and then you click select post, and you can literally pick one of your stories, one of your posts, a video, whatever it is, something on Instagram, yada, yada. Or use Creative Hub Markup, where they're going to create something for you. I've truthfully never even used that, so I'm not even going to go into that. So we're going to go to create ad, which is a lot of times what you're going to be doing. Dynamic format and creative. We talked about that a little bit before. If you put a bunch of stuff in here, they would split it up or show it to different people, whatever. We're not going to do that. Format, it's going to be a single image or video, or carousel, or a collection. So for this one, I think we're going to do, so I called it a photo, but I think I'm going to do a carousel. So basically this format kind of dictates what I title this. And a carousel on Instagram is going to end up being one of those things that people have to swipe to see. And you can do some creative things like that, like look over here, and then they have to swipe to see the next thing, yada, yada. So carousel, and they can be videos as well. They used to only be able to be images, but they can be videos as well, or just a single image or video. So in a collection, I won't get into that. So 9 times out of 10, it's going to be one of these first two. Collections are cool, but they're time consuming. I don't really like them. But anyway, so I want to do a carousel this time because I have 3 images queued up to use for this ad. The instant experience, I was talking about that a little bit before. That's where you can create like a landing page. You could even have they click on the ad and a video plays, a different video that was in the ad. And there's photos you can put in, and titles and buttons and lead capture and all kinds of stuff. And like I said, you can then retarget anybody that has opened that instant experience. But right now we're not going to do it. If you create them, you can also save your own. They have templates, obviously, and then you just create something out of the template. So right now we're not going to do that, but that is real cool, especially if you don't have a website or your website sucks or whatever, and you need something for people to click on and use as a landing page, then you could use an instant experience. And it's good for retargeting, like I said. So we're not going to do one of those. We're going to do a carousel ad, blah, blah, blah. Add creative. So add creative is where we're actually going to create the ad. Manually choose images, videos, and links. No, I want to fill them in. Yes, I want to manually do it. Sorry. You could, if you have products hooked up to your store, like a store, you could have it manually do stuff, or automatically do stuff. We are going to manually do stuff. I'm going to select images. You're going to go to upload if you don't already have them. Actually, I have them in here, looks like already. So let's pick this one. Do like so. And then each one, you can put a headline. So first blaze, description, first blaze of the AT. This should be better than this, but I'm doing it fast. And then the website URL. Let's get it. Trailblaze.com. Go to it. We'll copy it. And we'll paste it right there. Make sure you have the HTTP. It'll tell you if it doesn't work or isn't good or whatever. And then, so that's going to be the first tile in the carousel. And then you add the next one. Add image. And I'm only going to add a couple here for, and you can see it already put the website URL in there. You could have a different one for each image. Select image. We'll do the long sleeve version of the same shirt. blah, blah, blah. I could say long sleeve for winter or whatever. I spelled it wrong. You get it, whatever. You can remove them if you don't like them, and then you could add more. I don't think you have to have 3. It gives you 3 here. You can obviously add ones, but maybe it wants me to have 3. I don't think it's mandatory. So I'm going to leave those blank. See more URL. Got to put that in there so people can click, because you're doing a traffic ad. You're getting people to click, and that's going to be, if we can get over here, that's going to be that button there. When you're doing a traffic ad, it's going to put a button on all the ads. And it's also going to show you how your ad looks in all the different places over here on the right. And then you scroll down a little bit further, see more, display link. So if your link was a big, long, ugly link for whatever reason, you could put in here 1, 2, 3, or no, atshirt.com. And then down here in the ad, it'll say atshirt.com rather than blah, 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 whatever, .net, whatever. So that's optional. Most times you're not even going to worry about that, but whatever. And then your button, that button down there that says it, pick whatever makes sense. You could say learn more for shopping. I'm going to put for shopping ad, get offer, quote, shop now is what I'm going to do. Because it's a t-shirt, so that makes sense. Shop now. You can see there the button says shop now. In stories, it's going to say shop now. Swipe up at the bottom. And then tracking. If you want to track people going to your website, this is my Shopify pixel on that Trailblaze Tees website. So I'm going to select that one. If you have more than one, you could pick it. I do have more than one on that site, but I want to track with that one. App events, I don't have an app, so I'm not tracking anything there. Offline events, don't worry about that. And even this first website events, don't worry about that, because right now you probably don't have that tracking set up. That's a whole different thing. But if you do, click that, turn it on. If it's green, it's working and good. And then once you're done with all that, you click publish. But we're not going to click publish yet because there appears to be an error, but also I want to show you how to duplicate this now. So I said making multiples. So here I'm going to go click. Hopefully it gives me there we go, duplicate. Really easy. It's literally going to duplicate it. Don't change any of these things and click duplicate. You could change, obviously you can look at that and read it and see if you want to change any of that stuff, but just click duplicate. And then you can see here it says copy. And then I'm just going to change that. Like I said, this one was no interests. So this ad set is going to be same people, but no interests. And then I'm just going to scroll down here and I'm going to edit this because it's still on that example audience. And I am going to detailed targeting, and then I would delete all these, delete, or you could start with a whole new audience and here, that's probably easier. Create new audience, and then I would just put in for the location, US except California, and just make all this targeting the same, and then I would save it as an audience, whatever it was. Farm area, I forget what I named the other one, farm area, no interests. So you can save it later. Or did I call it test? I'll call this test so I know it in here. Tets, sure. I'm running out of time. We got to keep this quick. So you can duplicate. And then even in here with the ad, like I said, you might have a video version. Click that. I'm going to duplicate just the ad. Duplicate. Don't change any of that stuff. And it's going to throw another ad under this with interests one. And then that one would be a video. I want to show a video on this one, and then I would slide down here and I would switch it to a single image or video. Come down here, add media. You can create a video, like if you have a bunch of images, the same images that you used before, you could use those and create a slideshow, which is technically a video and retargetable with those ads later. That's a great hack if you want to do that. Account videos, looks like I have made one before or something. Let's see what it is. You can see how it looks. It just scrolls, it's just scrolling through them, and I think I put some music to it or something. So sure, we'll use that one that I made before. So now you have your video in there. You can see stories. So if you had which you should if you're getting better at this. Maybe not the first one, but when you get better, you should create a vertical version specifically for stories so it looks good in stories. There's a lot of placements for stories, the feeds, and then other places, and you can see them over here, and you can uncheck them and turn them off in here if you wanted to. So that's a quick overview of how you duplicate and make those different audiences, the simple way and the way to keep track of it. Let me check my time. I'm pretty much done. After you create the ad, you're done. 54 minutes. Perfect. Look at that. High five, Derek. I'm going to unshare my screen here and finish this out if I can figure out like the first time I've ever done this. There we go. All right, so you had the first goal, the first step, 3 steps, like you see in my thumbnail, 3 easy steps to creating your first Facebook ad and really any Facebook ad. In the first step is define your goal. Then you're going to define your audience. Who do you want to show it to? There's some research that goes into that behind the scenes before you do this to figure out who your ideal avatar is, but define that audience. And then finally you create your ad, and then you're probably going to make a whole bunch of different variations of this, and it can get a lot deeper, but that's the way to create your very first ad. Great way to do it. And then you can test things. I will remind you that marketing is testing, whether it's Facebook ads or mailers or billboards or anything. It's all testing, and you're not going to run one ad and just make a cajillion dollars off of it. It's probably going to fail. You're going to have to fix it. Maybe you get really cheap clicks, but nobody's buying. So now if that happens, you got to figure out what's wrong with my website or my landing page. So my ad is good and people are going there, but why aren't they buying? And then fix that problem. Or maybe it costs a bajillion dollars to get people to click to the website, but everybody that goes there buys it. So you know the website or the landing page is awesome and converts, but something's wrong with the ad. It's not showing to the right people, or we need a video instead of a picture, or whatever the case may be. So a lot of it is testing, and you always have to test and figure out what works. And then the old 80-20 rule, 20% gets you 80% of the results. So you need to figure out what that 20% is and then put more money into that and get rid of that other 80% and keep doing that over time. And that's how you get good ads and get good at it. And over time of running ads like me, I know when I run a real estate ad, if I'm getting X cents per video view or X sub cents, it should be for me now, a tenth of a cent, an eighth of a cent, whatever, maybe even less than that. I forget. Yeah, even less than that, hundredths of a cent sometimes. But you know, if it's too high for your threshold, I usually get this, and this is this. And hopefully over time, all of those go down. But that's all part of testing and getting used to it all. Do I have any announcements before we go out? Again, save this, play it back when you're in there creating it. Message me if you need any help. I'm happy to help. Get you through your first Facebook ad. I like geeking out on this stuff, obviously. Do I have time? I was going to do a random question for myself, but I don't think I have time. So I'm just going to close it out. Special offer. Reach out to me if you want to be a guest. So that's the special offer. If you want to be promoted in the group and on my Facebook page and on YouTube and everywhere, especially the group, reach out to me. I'd love to have you as a guest. I always need guests. I love meeting new small businesses and promoting you and hopefully getting you business. That's always my goal of every episode, is to get my guests business. If they just get one call or one piece of business, I'm happy. So please reach out to me if you want to be a guest. If you're interested in a business spotlight package, which consists of Greg coming out to your business, showing how the sausage is made, so to speak, and then also includes an interview here like you've seen with me, a little bit more in-depth interview, and then a networking mixer at your business. When we start doing those again, reach out to us. If you want to get our special offers, join the email list, supportcentralpa.com. You can sign up for it there. Please join our Facebook group. If you're watching this anywhere else other than Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, listening on iTunes, please head over to Facebook. This was visual, so it probably won't be on iTunes, but head over to Facebook and join Central PA Support Small Business. Text or email me or call me or throw a rock through my window, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. We need inventory for real estate really bad, really bad. Remember to support Central PA small businesses, and the call to action, like I've been having for the last few days. I deleted it. I changed it for the banner. Do I have time? Give a review. Hold on, guys. Save. Give a review. As soon as you hang up from this, as soon as this ends, go to Google Maps, go to Google your favorite business, click on it, click on review, click 5 stars, and then type in at least 3 sentences of why you loved your experience there. That's a tangible way to get them actual calls and actual more business. Go support your favorite small businesses. Peace